Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. This amendment bill makes changes to the Utilities Technical Regulation Act 2014. The bill addresses several issues relating to trees touching live power lines in order to increase public safety and address actions under the Strategic Bushfire Management Plan. The bill makes it clear that ActewAGL, the utility, is responsible for maintaining vegetation on all land in the ACT, besides urban backyards and national land. The Act will be amended to make ActewAGL responsible for vegetation management on unleased territory land within urban areas. Currently, TCCS are responsible for ensuring that vegetation does not interfere with utilities networks. The Act will be amended to make ActewAGL responsible for vegetation management on unleased territory land in non-urban areas as well. Currently, ActewAGL undertakes this work, making sure that vegetation does not interfere with utility networks on non-urban areas under the previous agreement with the ACT Government. So the amendment provides the legislative responsibility for this work. And the Act will be amended to make ActewAGL responsible for vegetation management on leased territory land within non-urban areas or private poles on rural leased land. The amendment allows ActewAGL to enter this private property for the purpose of inspection and maintenance and to issue notices to owners to make them safe. In the introduction speech, Mr Rattenbury said that introductions are being introduced to reduce the risk of bushfires being started by power lines in rural areas, which of course makes us wonder whether enough has been being done up until now. We also had the comment in Mr Rattenbury's introductory speech that, and I quote, "Some trees are dangerously close to the power lines and require outages to prune them back within acceptable clearances. The utility is confident that after a transition period of 3 to 5 years, the trees will be in a much more manageable state and costs will reduce as outages will not be needed." Again, Madam Deputy Speaker, it makes one question what's been being done up until now that it's going to take us 3 to 5 years to have these trees in a manageable state. The bill also introduces a strict liability offence enforcing ActewAGL to comply with minimum vegetation safety clearance distances from poles and wires. This amendment to the Act will create a regulatory change event that will allow ActewAGL to apply to the Australian Energy Regulator to pass on the cost of urban area tree management through to customers. This will see an increase of $9 to $10 added to the average household electricity bill, according to the introductory speech, per year, I should add, from Mr Rattenbury. And whilst Mr Rattenbury, slightly after that in the speech, says that when trees are in a more manageable state, costs will reduce as outages will not be needed, I've yet to see any changes introduced by this government that lead to a reduction of electricity prices. What we see time and time again is a small increase and another small increase and another small increase. The government likes to refer to it as something like just the cost of 1 cup of coffee a week or 2 cups of coffee a week. At this rate, coffee will become completely out of fashion, whereas none of us will have any money left to purchase cups of coffee. On that basis, that this has the intent or result of seeing an increase of $9 to $10 per year to the average household electricity bill, will be opposing this bill today. It's currently taking place, albeit arguably, according to Mr Rattenbury's introductory speech, perhaps not well enough, is currently taking place. This change is going to see an increase for consumers. I don't understand what the benefit is going to be. All it's going to be is another charge to consumers. And that's on top of every other charge that we see. The cost of living increases that are hitting Canberra households hard time and time again. You might think $9 or $10 a year is nothing, but when you add it to everything else, for households that are already under housing stress, that $9 or $10 is going to hurt a lot of households in Canberra. On that basis, we'll be opposing this bill.
Yeah. The question is that the bill be agreed to in principle. Mr Rattenbury.